Good morning everybody and welcome to episode 103 of the RetroBrown channel during the month of RetroBrown. We are doing a solo run today with just Ninetales, or should I say Kurama, as you would say in Japanese. It's a little bit of a Naruto reference, and a bit of a Naruto reference on the thumbnail with barrier mode. Yes, we are going to go full barrier mode with Ninetales today and hopefully get itself into the S or SS tier and finally get fire type as high up as we can. Our rival for today is going to be Duke, who subscribed to me last month. Thank you for subscribing, I really appreciate it, and welcome to the channel. So, let's get started with the run. We've got a base stat total of 505, and the majority of that is whacked into the special and the speed, which gives me a lot of hope that this is going to be a really good run. We do also start off with Ember, but we also have the Arcanine treatment here, which is what I've started to call it because, well, Stone Evolutions in Gen 1 didn't learn any other moves via level up, which means that the likes of Ember, Tail Whip, Quick Attack and Roar were the only moves we learn. The only way to get Flamethrower on a Ninetales is to evolve it with your Vulpix, which is kind of annoying, so we're not going to have Flamethrower for this entire run, and if we wanted a Stab Fire move, we're going to have to wait till Fire Blast at the 7th gym. So I'm not too happy about that, but we do get a lot of other good moves to work with. We do get Ember to start off with, as I said, which means Brock won't be the hardest of all the trainers, and all the bug catchers in Viridian Forest will be pretty easy as well. So we're going to try and go for minimum battles here. We do get poisoned on the very final Weedle, and you only need to go against one trainer in Viridian Forest to actually get through to Pewter City. Let's see how we do against Brock. Now with Fire type, it's not going to be super effective. It's not going to be, well, it's going to be resisted still, but it's still going to do quite a bit of damage because both his Pokemon have got quite low special. But because we're at level 6 and we do take quite a lot of damage, we do take an L at level 6. So we'll go up to level 9, we'll go against a few more trainers in Viridian Forest, we'll get those levels, and you can see now Ember is doing a lot more damage and we're getting better luck with the tackles and defense curls from Geodude. That puts us into Onix, and we do annoyingly use one Ember. We don't outspeed him when he uses Bide, and from here we got 4 HP to work with. We want to try and get burns on him so that he uses a turn up, and when he puts himself into his final Bide, we annoyingly do not outspeed and we do take a second loss here. So we need to try this one more time, and it's possible at this level because you can see how close we got to beating him on that first try. That second try. Yeah, the second try. First try was level 6. Anyway, we get a lot better luck and we get through to the Onix with a lot more to work with, and then he uses Bide again and he uses Tackle. So we just start to go for the Embers. We've got him down to very slow HP, and we use one final Ember to take him down. Looks like we were on a bit of a speed tie because sometimes he was attacking first, sometimes we were, but third time lucky we take the Boulder Badge and move on to Mount Moon. Now Mount Moon is not much of a problem whatsoever. We do level up quite a little bit to level 14, and the reason why we need to do that is because the next gym coming up is the Water type gym, our main enemy for this run. And yeah, I probably should have leveled up a bit more than what we are right now because we don't really have much to work with when it comes to Misty. So we're going to go straight for the rival instead because there is a different move that we can go and get if we do go the Nugget Bridge route. And that move is Dig. 100 base power, 100% accuracy, 2-turn move. Should give us enough to work with against Misty, but we still might need more levels considering we are losing to a Rattata. So let's try this again. Level 16 I do think it is possible at this stage because, well, look at that base special that we have at 100. I never realised how good Ninetales stats actually were. Like, I don't ever remember it having over 500 in base stats. Very evenly spread on its HP, attack and defense, but my god, that special and speed is ridiculous for Gen 1. We managed to beat the rival and we move on to go and try against Misty. Now we always have the Misty's little protege here using the Goldeen. We need to contend with her before we even try to attempt Misty. And we have a very unlucky run against her. Supersonic hits, we get down to 10 HP, Peck hits again and we're on 3 HP, and we only barely scrape through. So if we're barely scraping through against that trainer who doesn't have a water move, we're really going to struggle when it comes to Misty. So we're going to go and earn a bit more experience on Nugget Bridge. And from here, we can go and pick up a few moves. Now, I kind of wish that we had Seismic Toss, but again, how is a Demon Fox like this going to actually Seismic Toss somebody? So, it doesn't make sense. It would actually really help us out if we could learn Thunder Wave, which you can learn from the TM that we just passed there. Once you've beaten this hiker here, we can burn down his Geodude so we can get a little bit of revenge on the rock types. But once you've beaten him, there's a little hidden elixir in this little gap here, just in case you need it for future reference. Once we've helped Bill with his weird science experiment, I always thought this was just a weird, random thing that was thrown into Pokemon, and it was never ever done again, really, with splicing Pokemon and humans together. It's kind of sick, yeah. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, why is this part of the game? But either way, I mean, he's a scientist, yeah, but at the same time, he's made the Pokemon system, like the storage system, and yet he splices himself together with Pokemon. It's weird. It's weird. Anyway, we've picked up Dig. We are level 21 after Nugget Bridge, and we do outspeed the Staryu, so we can get through to the Starmie at full HP. Now, here is going to be the big issue. We can't outspeed when it comes to the Starmie, and it's ideally what we need is 3 digs to make this possible. But Starmie goes for 2 bubble beams, and that's just too much for us to work with. We need it to use Water Gun, which is a much less powerful move. Oh, we don't even take out the Staryu with 1 dig, which is kind of worrying. Now, we managed to outspeed the Starmie at level 24, and that gives us everything that we need to then take it down. But we're still taking massive damage from Water-type moves, like crazy amounts of damage. But we do take the win at level 24, it's a lot higher than I was hoping it would be, but we're a Fire-type Pokemon against a Water-type gym, and a strong Water-type Pokemon at that. Moving on to the SSN, we pick up Body Slam, of course we do. And that moves us on to the rival on the SSN. Body Slam is now going to be our MVP move all the way up until we get Fire Blast. Fantastic move. I will never stop raving about how good this move is in Gen 1. But of course we do have Dig to work with, so we do have a little bit of type coverage, but thinking about it, because Surge is going to be a whitewash considering we have Dig. Our move pool is actually kind of, like, it's not very varied, is it? We've got normal type moves, we've got fire type moves, we've got a ground type move, we've got 1 psychic type move in Reflect and Rest, so 2 psychic type moves, which aren't going to do any damage, but we've also got Toxic as well, which we might actually use. Everything else, like, we don't have much coverage whatsoever. We really don't. But the moves that we do get are pretty damn good. I was always I never understood in Gen 1 how come Magmar can learn Psychic. Yet Ninetales, whose Pokemon description is like, it was made out of the spirit of like 9 wizards or something like that, who combined into one. How does it not have Psychic? Yeah, answer me that one. Like, how does Ninetales not learn Psychic? It's really, really weird. Anyway, I've kind of waffled on a bit here. Let's go back into the footage. So, the Exploding Hiker here has no problem. We have no problem against him. We dig our way under his explosions, and he was out-muscled, definitely. Meaning we can move on to Lavender Tower and give the rival one more try. Let's see how we do here. So, first off, he's going to go with his Pidgeotto, who 2 body slams will be taken down. Dig will take out the Growlithe with no problem whatsoever. And even at this stage, an Ember will take out that Execute. Most of the Pokemon are going down pretty quickly at this point. We are level 30 because we had to go against a few more battles just to give ourselves the power to actually work with. So once we've beaten the rival quite comfortably first time, we can move on to Celadon City. And Celadon City is the home of the Grass Gym. Now this would be a lot easier if we had Fire Blast, but we can't get to Blade for quite a while right now. We also need Surf to be able to make that possible, which means we'd need to take on other gyms and other challenges. So while we're here, we do have the type advantage with being a fire type. We will resist the grass type moves, but this means that now the Victory Bell will spam Poison Powder and will spam Wrap, meaning we take a lot of damage before we even get to the Vileplume, who is more than likely going to use Petal Dance against us. Tangela becomes an absolute arsehole by using bind on us and keeping us constricted, so we keep taking more and more poison damage. We take an L and we try again. This time we do not get poisoned by the victory bell, and that was the big difference, being poisoned in the previous attempt. We use one tail whip, we use body slam twice, and we take the rainbow badge. I always wondered why it was called the rainbow badge. Does anyone know why the grass type gym has the rainbow badge? I mean, I guess when there's a lot of sun and rain to help water the plants, that it's going to be a rainbow, but if someone knows that, please whack it down in the description, because I genuinely don't know off the top of my head. With getting the 4th gym badge, we can then go into the Rocket Hideout, pick up the PP up, and fight against Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, who has 2 Rock-type Pokemon in this fight and a Kangaskhan. The Rock-type Pokemon are not going to stand up to our digs, and the Kangaskhan, it's doing alright. I mean, we don't have anything super effective. It's just kind of annoying that we have a very physical type moveset, and we can't really take advantage of it. Like, the only move that can really take advantage of that 100 special stat is actually Fire Blast and Ember. Yeah. 2 moves in our entire roster is the only thing we can do to take advantage of that special stat. This is why, if you ever were going to use the Ninetales in Gen 1, you had to wait until your Vulpix had learned Flamethrower to actually make it useful. But 76 attack stat is not the worst thing to work with. It just means that we're going to not do anywhere near as much damage as what I wanted to do, really. It'd be interesting to see if RBY Challengers would do a Ninetales run where it can learn Psychic. That would be interesting. Anyway, let's see how we do against Koga, and because we have Dig, we're doing okay until the self-destruct happens on the Weezing. So, yeah, it was kind of annoying, but we're not going to take the L, we're not going to take the win there. We're going to go Silphco and see how we do there. But we do, I haven't put the footage in, I don't think, but either way, we do go back to Koga eventually and we do get that badge. It was just really bad luck that he used self-destruct before we could dig down. Either way, when we move on to the rival in Silphco, we've got decent moveset we could work with. We still don't have Fire Blast, we are still rocking Ember here this late on, and the Blastoise now has very powerful water guns, and it can take off over 50 points of damage with just a single water gun. So yeah, we need to really get some better luck earlier on in this fight, otherwise I don't think beating that Blastoise right now is possible. So at level 37 going into this, we can easily one-shot that Execute. We can one-shot... Oh no, we can't one-shot the Alakazam. But we've managed to get all the way to the Blastoise without taking any damage, and wow, a critical hit water gun of 40 base power took us down to 47 health. Thank God he went for Bubble there, otherwise we'd have had to try that again. We pick up our Lapras, and we can move on to Giovanni. Now this fight is a lot easier in my opinion. We do have Dig for all the poison types that he has. And to be fair, I started using Dig a lot more than I used Body Slam in this run. Just because it has that added type advantage really with being the ground type, and a lot of things in Gen 1 are weak to ground types, especially with the amount of poison types there are in this generation. Yeah, ground is a good type in this generation in my opinion. Just the type, not some of the Pokemon that you have, because wow, they are slow, the ground types in Gen 1. Apart from Diglett and Dugtrio. Dugtrio is a great Pokemon in this generation. I remember that was probably one of my favourite Pokemon as I was growing up to pick up, because it would just outspeed everything. It was great. Anyway, let's see. We are doing quite well against Sabrina. We have just taken our 6th gym badge from her. Body Slam is just a great move. And this is where I realised, right, we're getting into the late game. Let's go back to beat Koga. I did put the footage in, because I am not going to take a self-destruct as a win against Koga. This is a solo run. If I get taken out by self-destruct, I do not take the win. We go back, and then we try again. So let's see. We've got poisoned here. We're going to dig onto the coffin. This is probably the one bad thing about using dig when you are poisoned. The fact you are going to take some damage, and if it's a long drawn out battle, does not help you whatsoever. But this time, we legitimately take the badge instead of trying to cheese it from a self-destruct. And we move down to Cinnabar, where we can go and finally finally get another fire type move to actually take advantage of our 100 base special. We're going to go and beat Blaine. But before that, we need to traverse through Pokemon Mansion. Now in the Pokemon Mansion, there is a very easy way to get through this without fighting any trainer. On this attempt, I actually managed to bump into a trainer, which annoyed me, but pretty much the route that you're seeing right now is the quickest way to actually get through this without fighting any trainers, getting the items you need. If there was Blizzard, you could just pick it up there. You press this switch, you can go and get a rare candy here. There's a Solar Beam TM up there, you can use Secret Key, and then if you've got Dig, you can dig straight back out. Go and pick up Strength if you didn't pick it up earlier like I didn't. And then you can head back to Cinnabar Island. You could go and get an extra rare candy in that house, but to be fair, we're actually doing alright on our levels, and I didn't feel like I needed it. So, now we've completed Pokemon Mansion, let's see how we do against Blaine. We've got all of these trainers here, and yeah, I pressed the wrong bloody button. Oh wow, how do I press the wrong button these times? Either way, I'm human. You can see that I do not go back on some of these mistakes that I make, and I have to add it on to the end time. But essentially, if you want to get through this, the first answer is right, the second answer is wrong. And I pressed it right. I was having a shocker of a day with my fingers button and pressing the right buttons. But it means we do get a bit more experience while we're here, which is always a good thing. As Blaine's gym is, and his trainers are honestly really, really easy. The third guy, again, it's yeah, I was really having a shocker here. So, from what I'm right, from what I'm remember, yeah, I got that one right. This one here is also correct. Basically, it's like you've got more wrong answers that you can answer. There's only 2 of the questions that are actually you answer correctly. There we go. We managed to figure out our fingers and get through to Blaine. So, let's use Dig on all of his Pokemon and just see how quickly you sweep this gym. We're up at level 44 here. And we can't even one-shot his Rapidash, which is kind of annoying, but it also means we won't one-shot the Arcanine. 2 digs will take it down, but this is a very easy gym for us, and we get our most powerful move of the run, which is Fire Blast. This brings us on to the final gym leader, which is Giovanni, and from here, Dig is still a great move to be using. We've only got 5 PP to work with from Fire Blast, which is why we've picked up so many PP ups on the way around this Kanto. Well, quite naturally you can always find 2 of them, but I'm sure there are more dotted around. We get down to quite low HP going into the Needle King. And we're on 1 HP going into the Rhydon. We're going to go for Fire Blast because we've run out of Dig PP. We burn the Rhydon. And thanks to the bad AI, we defeat Giovanni with Fire Blast. That means that we are now moving on to the Elite Four. But before the Elite Four, we always have the rival fight with Sejuke here. That brings us to how we're going to go through this fight. Now, I'm trying not to do as many runs as I can with the badge boost glitch. Yes, the last couple that I've just done, I did utilize it to win at lower levels. But to be fair, with first stage evolution Pokemon, I'd say it's more acceptable to try it. With the second stages, no, you should really be trying to do it without any badge boost glitch in my eyes, just to see the power of these Pokemon and what they actually are capable of, I guess. But Ninetales, yeah, it's not capable of beating that Blastoise with a Hydro Pump. So we're going to backtrack to Saffron City, and we're going to go and pick up the Mimic TM. Yes, a lot of people don't like the Mimic strats, but to be fair, I kind of wanted to do this before level 50, and it didn't really seem possible with not being able to outspeed or badge boost glitch a little bit. Now, out of all the moves you can badge boost glitch, I would say agility is one of the worst. So we're not giving ourselves too much of a buffer apart from being able to outspeed. We can't even one-shot the Alakazam, and ideally, well, we level up at level 48, right at the Blastoise. Our experience management was not great here. So let's try this again. We probably are going to level up again just before the Blastoise, but we need better luck to get through to it. If we can paralyze it, that gives us enough to work with to try and do it. Now, I actually decided to learn a different move here. I decided to go for Solar Beam on the Execute. I'm not badge boosting this to win this fight. I went for Solar Beam to get the super effective move and take advantage of our special stat, and it worked. We got so lucky, but wow, Solar Beam really came through for us there. First time in a long time I've used Solar Beam on this channel. But it worked, I'm quite happy with that. We can't learn Solar Beam naturally. Anyway, enough of me admiring my own achievements. Let's move on to the Elite Four, and here we are against Lorelei. Considering we have the massive type disadvantage of all of her water types, I did go for the badge boost glitching strat. Fire Blast, after 3 amnesias, it just tears through her entire team. And there we go. That is Lorelei beating a level 56 with a fire type Pokemon. Let's see how we do against Bruno. We are still using Mimic here, but yeah, Fire Blast is a great move to use against most of his Pokemon because they are all specially very, very weak. And this is why I'm so happy I did pick up Fire Blast and use it properly for once. But wow, the Machamp managed to tank it. That Machamp is stronger than I give it credit for sometimes. It does manage to tank quite a lot of special hits. Although not when it comes to Psychic type moves, it just does not tank them very, very well. Next up is Agatha, and of course, Dig is a great move here for dealing with her Ghost types because they're all Ghost Poison types. And, well, to be fair, I would say she's more of a Poison type trainer because only 3/5 of her team are Ghost type, and literally all 5 are Poison types. So yeah, she is a Poison type trainer in my eyes. That brings us through to Lance, and you know what? I'm scared for his Gyarados, as I am whenever I use a fire type on this channel. I am kind of scared for this, so how are we going to get through the Gyarados? Not very easily. Yeah. I'm surprised we managed to tank 1 Hydro Pump, let alone 2. But yeah. We go up to level 60, we use some of the last of our rare candies, and it's still not enough. A critical hit will take us out. So what we're going to have to do different here? Well, if we can get that paralysis, it's very possible we can get past his Gyarados without taking much damage. This time around, we do take 1 Hydro Pump and take it down with 3 Fire Blasts. Here, I am going to learn Agility and hope to God that he does not Hyper Beam me. 4th time's the charm, eh? We're nearly there. Level 65, the very last of our rare candies, and I'm so annoyed that at this stage we had to resort to getting up so high of a level. It just doesn't put us into those higher tiers. When it comes to the Aerodactyl, we're on 5 HP going into the Dragonite, and the Dragonite does take us down. Attempt number 5, we can do this. Level 68. I had to come out of the Elite Four and go and train because I had no more rare candies. Level 68 to make this possible. I was so annoyed. After such a good run, the time that we were getting at the time was just really good. And then Lance, such a dick, just made it so difficult for us. We managed to get through at such a good level, and then Lance happens. So I'm very sorry that we had to get this high leveled to make this possible with a Ninetales. But we don't get Confuse Ray. I reflected back on why the Vulpix run, we managed to do it around about the same level. It's pretty much because we had the move Confuse Ray to debilitate the opponent Pokemon. Oh my word. We still lose against this Alakazam, man. 2nd time lucky here. Yeah, Confuse Ray, if we would learn that move, even if I level up or get it instead of bloody Raw of all things on our starting moveset, we probably would have had a much higher tiering run than what we're going to end up with. Hey, level 69. At least there's some silver linings. Anyway, Rhydon is going to go down to a Fire Blast and a Dig. Arcanine comes out, and we're going to go for the Digs. It's a one-shot. Executor comes out, and if we can hit a Fire Blast, it will be a one-shot. There we go. Last up is Blastoise, and we are going to go for the Body Slams, but Hydro Pump comes out, and it takes a lot of damage. It goes for withdraw, and that's going to give us the chance to get a big Fire Blast in and get the win. So we did finish on level 69, which is always nice, but I'm just not happy that a Pokemon with this base stat total could not beat Lance at a much lower level. Level 69, and we finished at 3 hours 24 minutes. That level itself will put Ninetales into a lower tier, which probably will be the B or the C tier, and I'm not happy by that. But this is why we do the runs. Ninetales did not live up to expectations. Next on the wheel, we are going to see a Drowsy as our first choice, and that's a good choice because we have not actually done anything from the Drowsy line yet. Second up is Mankey, who I really enjoy the Mankey line. Getting an Annihilate in Gen 9 was fantastic. And last up is Mew. Mew's come up a few times, but you know what? I'm going with the Drowsy. We've not done anything from this line, so that's going to be a lot more interesting for me to work with. If you got to this point in the video, guys, please like and subscribe, you legends. I really appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow for the Drowsy run. Take care.